So in recovery, we all have our kryptonite or multiple kryptonites. How's it going, guys? Miguel here from CFS Recovery. Welcome to another video. If you're new to this channel, then essentially I put out videos to help people recover from chronic fatigue syndrome. I myself suffered with a hypersensitive nervous system issue for about 4.5 years in a severe state. And at my worst, I was completely bedridden for about 8 months. Didn't know what was going on. I ended up staying in the hospital for 2 months where I met with a doctor who taught me exactly what I needed to do to get better. And that's led me to where I am today. About another 4.5 years later, I'm able to produce these videos and kind of bridge the gap between everything my doctor told me and the things you guys don't know. So in this video, I'm gonna be talking about the big domino in your recovery. Now, what do I mean by that? Big domino. It's the big thing that's holding you back in recovery. Unless that one big thing is solved, it's gonna be very hard, if not impossible, to recover. Now, I also like to call this big domino your kryptonite. The big thing that's keeping you stuck, your worst enemy in recovery. I say kryptonite because it's a reference to Superman. Now, Superman, he was all powerful, had all these superpowers, literally super, right? He had superpowers. But his one weakness, the one thing that despite all of his superpowers, despite all of his strength and laser coming out of his eyes, being able to fly, despite all the amazing qualities that he had, there was just one thing that could tie him up, and that was kryptonite. So in recovery, we all have our kryptonite or multiple kryptonites. For me, mine fluctuated throughout the years. There were plenty of times where the only thing I could think about was my heart exploding with every palpitation. There were other times where I would be terrified of sleeping at night because I would always get sleep paralysis or I wouldn't be able to sleep at all. There were other times where I would be terrified of leaving the house because leaving the house meant putting my body at risk for another crash, and I had to anticipate that. So when it comes to our kryptonites in recovery, everybody has their own different things, right? I've met hundreds and hundreds of people, I've talked to them, spent hours on phone calls, and what I've noticed is even for people in the program, they have these certain fears, and these are like anchor fears. These are their kryptonites, the things that are holding them back in recovery that keep them stuck. A big part of recovery is awareness, even being able to realize your own thoughts, being able to observe your own thoughts, being able to look at them objectively, not emotionally, and be like, okay, probably shouldn't be thinking that. Oh, that's a negative thought. Oh, this seems to be coming up quite a bit. This thought that I keep having, am I ever gonna get better? That keeps coming up. Or every time I'm making progress, I think about how bad I feel, or I get hyper-focused on the symptoms, right? There are all these different things that can keep us stuck, and it is specific to the individual. A lot of these things other people have been through as well, but I find that there are certain kryptonites for recovery. For example, a very common kryptonite in recovery is the thought of, oh no, I'm going backwards, I did something wrong, when people are in an adjustment period. Because when an adjustment period comes, as we know, if you watch my other videos on this channel, we know that it can completely throw your mindset off. It can be an emotional roller coaster. And so when the physical sensations come, as well as some mood swings here and there, then you can get really down on yourselves. And that can be your kryptonite, not having the ability to withstand the adjustment periods. For other people, it might be that patience, right? So maybe they want to get better very quickly. And I see this a lot early on for people first developing CFS or a hypersensitive nervous system issue. If they've had it for 6 months or 8 months or a year severely, then they're gonna wanna get out of it faster. Versus people who have had it for a few years, they've already accepted the fact that this thing isn't going away anytime soon. And so they're a lot more patient because the expectations are a lot lower. So for people who first get sick with this, patience is a kryptonite because they're gonna try to keep up with their old lifestyle and keep trying to get back to that place, but then that will just cause them to get worse. In other instances, it might be certain foods. In other instances, it might be staying up late, going on the phone, or spending too much time on a screen. I know that's definitely one of the things that I need to work on right now. I'm nowhere near as bad as I used to be. I'm not bad at all, actually. I live quite a normal lifestyle, if not busier than most people. All the time I spend filming these kind of videos or being on calls in the program and doing all this other stuff, writing a book. There's a lot on my plate. But one of the things I still try to do, and something that is still my kryptonite to this day that kind of gets in the way of life, is being on my phone, spending too much time on things like TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. And so my kryptonite is if I bring my phone to the bed after 10 p.m., I know it's game over. So I have this rule that I clearly set out. no electronics in the bedroom after 10 p.m. Because if there are electronics in the bedroom after 10 p.m., it's not going to be good. Guaranteed. At that point, I've already lost the battle. So like I mentioned, a huge part of recovery is self-awareness. Being able to recognize where are your flaws, where are your weak points, what do you need to improve? And of course, there's lots of things we need to improve, but there are going to be a few things that stand out if you really start to look at your life. If you really start looking at the patterns of what causes you to get worse, what are the mistakes that you're making over and over again? Is it the negative thinking patterns? Is it wondering if you have some mystery illness every time you get some weird symptoms? Maybe it's constantly thinking about how many things you were doing in your past, and then you're comparing your present day self to your past, and then you start to get down on yourself. So what I would highly suggest is really take notice of your thoughts. Write them all down on paper, especially the negative thoughts, right? Get all that negativity and those limiting beliefs and these patterns that you see in your mind out onto paper. Look at what you're thinking mentally, look at what you're doing physically, and then see where you are getting stuck. Also, where are you holding yourself back, right? I'm not saying you can just think positive and overnight you get rid of that negative thinking and all of a sudden you have all this energy. No, it takes a lot of work. Your kryptonite is not easy to deal with, but the payoff, the benefit of dealing with that kryptonite or that big domino is once you knock that big domino down, then a lot of other problems start to go away. So if you just move this big domino and deal with that, or there could be a few of them, then a lot of other problems start to go away, because usually these big dominoes are causing a lot of stress on your nervous system, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional, maybe even spiritual. But they can be causing stress on your nervous system. So if we take away that big domino, that big stressor, right, a lot of the other symptoms will start to go away. And like I said, it could be more than one thing. It could be a handful of things. When I was at my worst, I was in a place where I feared everything and I had multiple big dominoes. Luckily, that's where I met my doctor, and he was able to pull me out of the hole and help me knock down those dominoes. And the thing with that, you need a lot of reassurance and positive reinforcement to knock down those dominoes, because they're not easy, right? You're gonna try knocking them over many times and it's not gonna work, and you're not gonna see results right away. That's why it's great to be part of calls with people. It's great to be part of a community that is encouraging you, that understands what you're trying to do and what the group as a collective is trying to do, which is recover from this nervous system issue. So when you can get extra help and have people remind you, hey, are you doing this thing? You need to focus on it. I know it's very hard, but you're gonna feel better for a bit. And when you see other people knocking down their dominoes and you see them getting better, it's just so beneficial for your own recovery, because you see that it's possible and you see that the payoff is worth it. And when you deal with these big problems in recovery, your kryptonites, it opens up a whole new threshold for your nervous system. It lowers the stress levels on your body, and you're able to accelerate recovery and actually get a lot better. So if there's something to take away from this video, it's get a piece of paper, get a pen, or in your phone, write down a lot of the patterns that you're having that are potentially keeping you stuck. And you want to look for things that are reoccurring, that are happening over and over again, whether it's every day, every hour, every few minutes. If it's thoughts that pop into your head, if it's things that you always do that end up causing you to go backwards, you want to write those down, identify them, because when you identify them, then we can deal with them from there, right? You can either avoid them or rewire those things. For example, like negative thoughts. There's a way that with repetition, with lots of consistency and lots of focus, intention, you can lower the frequency and intensity of those negative thoughts. As always, we do a subscriber comment in all of these main YouTube videos. So today I want to highlight a subscriber, and I know this person watches all my videos. They're always commenting. Esther, I want to highlight your comment here. So she says, after 6 weeks of infections, I'm having a good week. I've been sleeping and able to go out on family days. I do have to rest and lay down, but I'm out. I feel positive, like I will heal. I am even making plans for the first time in 5 years. I used to cancel everything as I was too sick constantly. God knows and has answered my prayers for healing. I'm not fully recovered, but I am getting there. So Esther, keep doing what you're doing. Continue to stay positive. I know you've been watching a lot of my videos and implementing all these techniques, just like all you guys watching this right now, and I hope that you are applying them. I would encourage you to apply it as much as you can. And if you do want a chance to be featured in the next video, make sure to comment down below something you got out of this video, or just share a recent win that you've had in the last week or so. We always love sharing the positivity here. If you wanted to be part of a community that can just help hold you accountable, encourage you, and give you a lot of positive reinforcement so that you feel like you're doing this with a team versus just by yourself, because I know it can be a very lonely path, then make sure to hit the link down below. You can apply for the program. We accept new thrivers into the Recovery Jumpstart program on an application basis only. There's limited spots available. So there is a questionnaire. You can fill it out, see if you're a good fit. And if you are a good fit, then then myself and the coaches in the program and the other thrivers would love to help you change your life for the better. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button. click the link down below and make sure to hit that notification bell because I am posting every single day here on YouTube. You can also go follow me on Instagram. You can see some behind the scenes that I don't necessarily post on YouTube, so you get even more tips. Sometimes I talk to the camera, sometimes I go live. Other than that, I hope this video resonates with you, and always remember that you are just one mind shift away from living a life with thriving health. I'll see you in the next video.